Oh man, I have a completely blank page in front of me. Because I have no agenda for today. Argle Bargle, hey Larson. How are you doing? Oh, Larson's here. We're going to have topics. Larson's going to be like, what about this? We have this too. I got a feeling. We're going to put that there. My name is Dreaded. I love it. Oh, let me, today's music is some delightful, Parasite Eve lo-fi. Why am I getting messages? Oh, okay. Therapy appointment. Thanks for the reminder. Holy moly, there's a delay between hitting enter and the message on the stream. Yeah, so if you're looking at this is going through Restream, which will have like a 7-second delay or something. It'll take a moment. It'll show up on Twitch proper faster than it'll show up on this. But there is also a delay when you say the thing. Also, hi Deebs, hi Miss Harmony, and hey Splinter Fiction, and hey Kuri, and hey Talion. How are you all doing? After those amazing few days, it's so happy to find you streaming. Hey, Miss Harmony, I'm glad you have an amazing few days. And you love my outfit. Thank you. It is my textured, sleeveless, oversized cardigan. It has this nice, like, mesh texture. And then, like, a more fabric-y texture. And it's sleeveless. And it's got a little bit of a thing. And then I have, like, a hooded shirt. And then I bought a cheap necklace thing. Choker, because it's cool. Let me know if that music is a good volume. Because I have it a little different on how I'm hearing it versus how you all are hearing it. That doesn't even display in chat. What's the point of that? Twitch want to be... share my watch streak? It's funny. Bracing myself for 8 paragraphs of this is what's happening. This is what to do. This is how you want to do it. I try to keep it less than 8 paragraphs. Just kidding. I say more than 8 paragraphs. I try to write less than 8. What's in store for today? Today is just going to be open topic, RPG stuff, AMA, questions, thoughts, concerns. Last week we did the floating islands, and today I have a little bit of a thing. I'm trying to not turn into a migraine. So we're just doing open. Twitch really bothers you, the streak. Yeah, it does. Hey, Discordia. More concerned with the message I typed, which never materialized. Oh, no. Oh, it was the show yesterday. Yeah, how was that? Also, I went to a concert yesterday, too. Oh, now you're over here. Hey, Miss Harmony. Welcome to the Twitch. Like a noob. I'm still running a whole guerrilla street war against the Loltite Drow in neutral Kotao City thing. The boulder is still rolling. Nice. No, you did not tell me about that, Larson. Oh, Larson's going to write Ace Pair. Oh, yeah, Larson's going to write a whole novella for us, probably, over the course of the stream. I saw I had a new friend text me yesterday and was like, hey, the person I was supposed to go to this concert with bailed. Do you want to go to a concert in DC? And I was like, yes. Sure. I don't know who it is. And it's a band named In This Moment. And I was like, all right, cool. I didn't know what they were. Turns out they're a good band. And they put out a pretty good show. I enjoyed it very much. Miss Harvey says it was amazing. Had such a good time. Shared so much love. Oh, right in the front row. Shepherded lots of short people to the front because kindness. That's adorable. Bless you. Bless you, Miss Harmony. That's awesome. Oh gosh, where'd it go? Oh, usually, I think kind of have that on lockdown. Okay, slowly come up with some specific encounter ideas because Drow dude with sword and crossbow gets a bit samey. Yeah, it definitely does. Oh, right, it was Baroness. That's right. So it was good? Oh, you love in this moment? Splitter Fiction? Well, good show. That's the friend I went with yesterday. That was the band that she wanted to see, and they were the not the headliner, the second to last band. Some band called Ice 9 Kills was last. That was the headliner. I never did get into the Baroness, but I have friends who loved them. Nice. Give them pets or allies. Pets are great. Also, giving them crossbow and sword can be made more interesting when you have... oh, hey, Besmirch. How are you doing? If you have interesting terrain for them to utilize crossbow and sword. That's really helpful as well. Or if some players' allies attack accidentally and see if they kill them before they realize. Ooh, I like that. So good. 2 opening bands blew me away. Drop Dead and oh shit, I forgot the first band's name. Honestly, oh shit, I forgot the first band's name. Not a bad name for a band. I've heard of Ice 9 Kills, but I don't think I've heard any of their songs. Yeah, they're like, all of their songs were based on horror movies or horror franchises. So like they had a song with like about Resident Evil. There was an Evil Dead one. Psycho, American Psycho, Scream, Halloween, like the movie. And they're like emo scene. Like I was a little surprised to hear that music coming from a band, and it wasn't high school. Like, it's like, oh, this is still being made. They seem to have a good time. It was cool. They put on a fun show. Not usually my jam, like music-wise, but I enjoyed it. Like, it was fun to go see. In this moment, though, really good. That's something I would listen to just to listen to. Imperial Triumphant? They dumped champagne all over us up front. That's funny. I like it. Was that the Royal? Ooh. Not familiar with it. Ice 9 Kills was just in Portland last week. Oh, wow. Man, they crossed the country fast then, because they were in D.C. yesterday. That's the other doggone coast. Lars says basically hostile of the Drow started making diplomatic inroads to the Kowtow city the party calls home. It makes both the party and their main allies, the Exalt Drow trade house, nervous. Their bad influence on the Kowtow. So Larson, a thing that I would say is from watching Castlevania right now is a really fun thing to do, is to have people that you know are up to no good, but are currently not doing anything that you can, like, charge them for or stop them. Like, they're suspicious, but, like, you have nothing to prove. You would be in the wrong to, like, outwardly attack them. Even though you know they're kind of dickish, and you know they have to be scheming something, but you just don't know what it is yet. That could be fun if you have a little bit of that, where it's like an outright assault would be very bad for them, and not just in the sense of like they might get killed, but in the sense of like, oh, they could be held responsible for it. Basically kind of a high priestess of the city. Had a long-working relationship with the trade house, but a lot of the nobles being bribed by the hospital drow. Ooh. However, their dogma is that all drow are considered honorary kowtow, so officially not taking sides. Nice. Hydrate? I can't hear sound alerts. OBS did a weird thing, and now I can't hear any, like, the sound alerts or the Android pop at the beginning. Hey, Bagabi, how are you doing? Also, I accept this bug meat. May you accept the bug meat you can't change, and change the bug meat you can't accept. Yeah, you all can still hear them. Like, if I play a sound on here, like when I play the opening music, like if I do this, like, you can hear that. I can't hear it. But I can hear the lo-fi playing right now, the Lo-Fi Parasite Eve music by DJ Soundworks, or sorry, JP Soundworks. Because that's actually playing through the thing. I don't know what OBS did on its latest not update to yuck it up, but it really did. So it's like anything that plays through OBS, it's just like, nah, you don't get to hear it. It's like, but I do have monitor turned on, and I do have the correct output for this. And it's like, yeah, I know, but like, it's like, all right, OBS, I guess I don't have any other options, so sure. All right. Magabi. Oh, the funny part is that since it's the Underdark, what counts as being up to something is very different. Like, they're openly engaging in religious humanoid sacrifice, but that's just business as usual for the kowtow. Yeah, see, that's a really fun thing to play with, Larson. Is that, like, societal norm? Like, what's cool with them? It's like, yeah, like, humanoid sacrifice. That's what we do. Like, what's weird about that? Come on now. So yeah, I think that's super cool. Like, being able to play with stuff like that. I would assume since drow, I don't remember if they do in 5e, where they have, like, on-demand, like, minor mind control, like influence or whatever it's called, suggestion, hey, you should do what I say kind of thing, whatever that is, that, like, rules on, like, societal and even laws on, like, lying and, like, doing stuff under duress or under influence would be different than what we have. Where it's like, well, kind of like on our side, where it's like, ignorance is no excuse. Like, if you parked somewhere and there was a no parking sign, but you didn't see it, you still get the ticket. That sort of a thing where it's like, well, if you were dumb enough to fall for their cantrip, like, you deserved it. Like, yeah, you murdered somebody, but, like, come on, it's your problem, bro. You shouldn't have done it. You should have been smarter. So, like, is there anything like that in the drow in your society because of that sort of, like, mind influence? That's a natural part of biology. Luis was having sound issues the other day when playing Resident Evil 3 and streaming on Discord. Oh. Through OBS? Also, which Resident Evil 3? The remake? They're both really fun. I gotta replay the original. I might end up not liking it. I liked it the first time, though. kept stabbing me in the ears. Oh, no. That's not what we want sound to do. So Imperial Triumphant, I just took videos of the drummer. Drop dead vids of the bass player. Baroness was all about Gina. Completely ignored the front man. That's valid, Miss Harmony. That says party business into it, says Larson. I'm planning to put them in a moral dilemma. Yes. Oh, give me moral dilemmas of whether or not to take a risk in freeing a big shipment of slaves marked for sacrifice. Ooh, that's really good. I really like that. Yeah, make it a tough choice. Like, make it a real issue if they set these people free. Also, what are the ramifications? So, like, kind of like something when we were talking about Learbotten, where it's like, oh, we have to siphon people's sleep to feed the monster. Take that further for normal sacrifice. Like, are they being sacrificed to actually appease a thing? So it's like, well, if we set these slaves free, the monster doesn't eat. And if the monster doesn't eat, will bad thing happen? And, like, give them a problem. Like a moral dilemma with it. And a practical dilemma. I gotta look that up now. I'm gonna look up Drow 5e. Alright, ability score, Spear, Dark Vision, something like Drow Magic. They have Dancing Lights, Fair Darkness. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that was like a 3.5 thing. Unless elves have it. Okay, score. Alignment, size, speed, dark vision. Advanced history, advantage, throw big charge. Trance, elves do not sleep. No keen senses, language. Yeah, and then there's dark elf. Yeah, dancing. Okay. You're right, they don't have it as a set ability. Either way, you could have it as a societal thing, where it's like, if you fall under mind influence, like, tough tatas, y'all. You should have been better at not being so susceptible. Should have been such a dumbass, is what they'll say. I don't know, that's up to you. I was just curious. I need to play the original and the remake. Yeah. The original's really good. The remake is also really good. Hey, everyone, check out Wilsey Blog's pizza stream. I laughed my ass off. He's a great solo streamer. What the heck was his pizza stream? Oh, Pureblood Yonti. Or UNT. Do. But it has since been changed. Okay. Moral dilemmas are fun, says Kuri, which I agree. My big villain has heavily enamored most of the players and has genuinely did good for kids with magic. Yeah! I love it. I love a good thing like that. That's really good. The Yonti snake people. Yeah. Influence is so proud. Well, who didn't... Well, no. I was going to say, someone in SideQuest, I think, had it. But I think that was just a choice of a spell. Not based on their lineage. Frankly, Kauto tend to sacrifice just to display religious fervor. But it's really hard to find solid information on their goddess. Blid Doodle Pulp? Not using 5e lore where they make up new gods, so I'm mostly playing it somewhat inscrutable force can go either way. Okay, all right, but. Oh, you also say more. Actually, before the hostile drow showed up, they started bribing them with extra slaves, and I had the kowtow of the city gradually moving away from blood sacrifice and more towards tithing to influence from the trade house. Interesting. Blib Dual Pulp. It's a great name. It is pretty good. I do like that name. Okay, but you have the sacrifices going to an actual thing. A god is a great thing. Okay, so you have a god that's like, oh yeah, these people are sacrificing to me, cool, and then like the god doesn't get their sacrifice, and they're like, hey, famine, or whatever they do. I don't know what they're the god of or what control they have, but if you have these sacrifices going to something that powerful, then having it be a direct problem for them to deal with. So now you have like, yeah, God's having a temper tantrum. Exactly. And like, you could, I don't know how like severe all of your intertwining deities are, but it could be like, oh, because, blid dope plop, didn't have the sacrifice. They didn't have enough power with this battle that they were ongoing with this other god, and then that means that they lost some sort of edge or some battle or something to this other god directly because they were at a loss of power at that moment. So that could actually upset bigger things as well. Yeah, like, kidnap people and mind control villages, make sure kids are happy, live a happy life, make sure they don't get hurt. Yeah. Who else is replacing the hard concrete on the playground with like wood chips? Blah, blah, blah is totally schlocky greatness. Want to see what she looks like? Absolutely, I want to see what she looks like. What's up, Monday? How are you doing? Is that a necklace or a collar? Either way, super cute. This is a necklace. It's a choker. It has spikes and a heart. So, of course, I love it. All right, let me paste this. I'm gonna paste it in here. Whoa! Had to make sure it was safe for work. That's badass. Oh, I love it. I love the crustacean head with like a humanoid body, but then the claws, and then like a seaweed dress. And this tide coming in with crabs. This is awesome. What's this art from? Her 1E art is not safe for work. Well, now I have to look it up. Hang on. Over here. 1E. Will it show me? It's probably not going to show me. It's a lot of fan art. That's just a lobster with photoshopped human legs. That's funny. That's badass. I love this design. I complain a lot about like animal part slapped onto other thing. Oh, that's the one. Okay, hang on. Gotta look at it over here. Oh, I didn't. No. Copy link. There we go. Okay, yeah, that. Hang on. I can censor this for you all. Hang on. Well, maybe I can. I'm trying real hard here. I need you to do a fill-in box. Oh, fill. There it is. Okay. So, like, I always complain. Oh, gosh, you went away. I pulled the wrong one. There we go. That's the right one. So there's... So this is what I complain about, like manticores and stuff, where you have a mashup of just a human and a critter. Like, this is a low poly drawing, as they say. But, like, yeah, it's just, like, straight up crab head, crab arm, human body. It's got freaking human toes. Like, that's just... What is this? Versus, like, look at the transition on this, where you have, like... There's a bit of a humanoid face right here. Like, this is clearly the eye. And, like, if this was a lobster, it would be looking up. And... but, like, look at the bottom of its face. The bottom of its face mimics a human face. It mimics the human silhouette. That's a good blend of the two. If you look down here at the neck and you see this transition of the, like, spotty coloring and these patterns that go into the flesh. And then the same thing happens here. Also, on normal human arms, the elbow gets, you know, after the elbow, the arm gets smaller. Versus here, you have... like bigger muscles, which makes sense when you have like a big grabby claw and it needs more muscle. So that's something that changes in human anatomy. That now this, rather than my arm, which gets smaller, it gets bigger. That's a way to change it. On top of where you see this right here blending into the flesh with the color of the arms. And then there's like little bits like where it's visible that looks like it's kind of like the carapace is kind of like popping out, and there's like a little bit of stuff between it, and there's like weird muscle mass right here that like doesn't exist in arm. This is a good blend. This is an excellent example of how to do it. Also, her outfit, yeah, that seaweed dress, incredible. The way it's, like, reaching out, it almost looks like it has as much motion and movement as this wave of sea critters. With these crabs and the water. Like, that's awesome. Versus, like, this is stop human right here, put crab head on, or lobster head. And then stop human arm right here, put crab hand. Like, and that's it. That's it. You're done. That's lunch, everybody. So, this is incredible. I love this. This face part. This is honestly probably what's one of the biggest things that's doing it for me. But those three things. The blending of the face part, the blending of the colors, and then the, like, different muscle mass. For having a different arm. Brilliant. Like, this is incredible. Who did this art? This is awesome. I love the seagulls too. She reminds me of a character from a webcomic called Cursed Princess Crab. Oh, I love it. Oh my god, that's terrifying. I love her, right? The 1E version kind of reminds me of the guy with crab claws from Frisky Dingo. I haven't seen Frisky Dingo. Hey, Nick the OG. How are you doing? Lobstrosity! Someone else has read, what you call it? The Dark Tower. With the Lobstrosities. So, free crustacean nipple. Three E art is outright disturbing. Oh, I gotta look at that. But there's a Kofi too. Hang on. Okay, copy. We're gonna... Oh! See, I don't like the 3E art either. For the same reason. I'll bring that up. It's a better example than this. But first I got a Kofi. Because there's a Kofi. It should say the name for everybody else, but I missed it. Because it comes up so fast. Aw, it's besmirch. No message. Just besmirch. But you know what? It's the besmirch that we appreciate, so thank you. Thanks, besmirch. That's very sweet of you. Alright, let me drag this back over. Copy image. I'll put it next to this one, and then we'll do a little boob censoring. She got her bulbies out. I don't like that I have to censor her, but I will get. I fear I will get yelled at by the yubtubs and the twitches. There we go. All right. So this is the same thing. All right. Actually, I'm going to censor her bottom part too, even though it's not showing anything, just to be safe. It didn't show anything, but hey. Okay. So like, again, just straight up, just is straight to humanoid. Actually, let me check out chat real fast. Reminds me a bit of District 9. Yeah, I like those District 9 buddies. They're cool. Are you familiar with with Goblin Slayer? The implications is that the gods of that universe are playing a tabletop game. Oh, that's funny. Hey, Josh, I know the name Goblin Slayer. I've not seen it. And I didn't know that was the premise. That's really funny. What would feeble gods like God of Toenails or the god of that second kind of snow use the equivalent for floods and famine? Oh my gosh. Maj, I'm sorry. I am copying this message so I don't forget it, because that is incredible. Once we finish talking about this, that's what I want to talk about. I love gods of little things. So like the god of getting the fitted sheet right the first time. Like stuff like that is so... I can't believe you're censoring the drawing. Like the god of getting the fitted sheet right, or the god of getting the USB right the first time. Like the god of... but that's like even like weird things, like the god of going over gaps without flying. So it's like, oh, the god of you swung across it on a rope. What god does that? Like just like weird, just any sort of small or you know, specific things. The god of circular doorknobs but not door handles. Yeah. Because, like, yeah, there's the big gods, like death. Like, okay, death and taxes. We all got to deal with that. But it's like the god of rounded doorknobs. Like, yeah, that could exist. And, like, yeah, they got a domain. They're never going to be, you know, one of the big-time gods. But they could, you know, they could be there. They could do a thing. They could have a little church. So we're, so I was remembering... Let's see. Feel your arm. Do those muscles. Us to find you're not well trained. Hey, Tyrell. Muscle mass? Oh, that's Larson. That's funny. Exalted has good examples of blended humanoids and animals. There is a shape-shifting class kind of that is halfway transformation between deadly beast man transformation. That's super cool. Yeah, I bet Exalted for how many like animal human things are in like mythology. I can see them doing a really good job on it. I would be honored to be slaughtered by such a beautiful tarot. Frisky dingo crab man. Oh, wow. Yeah, that does look like... That's just a man with crab claws. Pearl of the Sea Mother. Christopher Perkins. Okay. John Risagwo. Okay. That's awesome. That's really good art. John Risagwo. Muscle Mass, damn it, LMAO. Yeah. Apparently I'm having trouble ending my words. It's okay. As Deep said, words are hard, yeah. Also some crustaceans. Have one arm much larger than the other. Yeah, they have the crusher claw and the like pincher claw or whatever. So yeah, it'll be different sizes because they use them for different things. Apparently the artist for the 4E pick, that one you really liked, is Ben Wooten. Oh, okay. I've definitely heard the name Ben Wooten. Maybe I follow them on Twitter or something. I'm okay. On lunch, about to make my obligatory lunch nap. Nice. Will use your convo to give me comfy, cozy vibes for my nap. Nice. I almost always fall asleep to people talking now, so I understand. If you gotta use me to put your mind at ease while you sleeps, happy to do that. The god of flipping a fried egg without breaking the yolk. I love that god. I need a little shrine to that god. I love not breaking the yolk. With flipping. I'll break the yolk when I eat it. I really like the god of not breaking the yolk, because that's an easy one of like, what would they do when they're upset? You'll freaking break the yolk. You open the egg, it's already broken. Shattered in there. I'll be basing deities on the constellations people have in to marked in the night sky, the object of worship people believed were watching over them. Oh, because you have, because Discordia, you were talking about that one where, like, yeah, they do the calendar and stuff by the constellations. That makes perfect sense. That's really cool. And that's a good influence. Got that one tool you need from the IKEA furniture put together. Yeah, the god of that one specific Allen wrench. Well, you know how certain devoted people of minor gods get into government and place a larger role on their smaller gods. That could be a thing. Totally. Like the god of round doorknobs, you know, is like, hey, all of our government buildings, I'm going to make sure that our contracts are all for every door will have round doorknobs. Because handles are, I don't know, dangerous. I don't know, whatever they decide to put in the legislation. They gotta find your keys when you lost them. Yeah. Have you read Terry Pratchett's Small Gods? Literally my favorite of all his works. I've honestly never read Terry Pratchett. He's on my list, but I also fear reading him because Art Station for Ben Wooten. Oh, that's a delightful picture. Oh, look at how sweet they are. Aww. Is that a goblin? Adorable. Gods of retaining dry socks after stepping in liquids. Yeah! Hey, Valhalla. Look, I gotta start putting these god names. It's nice, Bill Knobs. There's gotta be an N in there. I still gotta talk about this thing though. is why this picture is up. Small gods sound like Shintoism to me. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no suns, just stars. Yeah. I love that idea. But yeah, there's stories regarding government officials making small gods worship larger roles. That's super cool. Speaking of goblins, that dude you raided yesterday, that was a trip. He was entertaining. Good, I'm glad. He followed me. So, that's cool. Also, someone named Uber Noob followed 12 minutes ago and I missed it. Sorry for not noticing. Hi, Uber Noob. How are you doing? They have one last worshiper and they're a bit clumsy and slow. That's funny. Why am I just hearing the bureaucracy is expanding to meet the needs of the expanding bureaucracy? Would those gods necessarily be more feeble? Toenails are common enough. That's true. Jeff, the god of biscuits. I like Jeff. Jeff needs to expand. Jeff needs to be more prominent. Jeff, the god of biscuits, needs to be more prominent further up north because as soon as you leave North Carolina, it's hard to find a good biscuit. Yeah, that's a shame because good biscuits are good. Hey, Slime Lord, how are you doing? Yes, the others were worshiping the idea of them. But that's cool. But yeah, for like the god of toenails, like yeah, toenails are common, but like who worships toenails? Like even people with the foot fetish, how many of them really care more about the toenail than the rest? You know? So they might have a lot of like essentially real estate. They're the god of toenails, and there's, you know, freaking at least around 10 of them on each person, but like who's worshiping them? So just because doesn't mean they have it. You think god of rock, the god of paper, and the god of scissors hate each other? God of knowing for sure you turned the oven off. I need to pray to that god every time I leave the house. I am like, did I turn the oven off? Bit cold and hungry, but about to fix that. Get warm and fed, Slime Lord. Jeff, the god of biscuits. Yeah, I like Jeff. What dark magic keeps the god of biscuits from expanding their delicious domain? There's a whole campaign right there. Yeah, I agree, Crawdad. And it needs to be done because the god of biscuits needs to spread. I need a good biscuit up here. Good biscuit. Also, I found one place here in Maryland that has good sweet tea. I love sweet tea, like Southern sweet tea. I found a barbecue joint that has good sweet tea. And like, I would go there. The food was decent. I'd eat there again. But I would 100% go there again to get sweet tea. And then I would probably also get some food while I'm there. Got a biscuit said this follower's on a crusade. To make him the god of baking. I love it. God of getting your toast just right. Oh yeah, love it. Okay, so we're gonna talk about small gods, but I'm gonna finish this first. So like here, we have, first of all, this is a very muddy drawing on purpose, but like, it's like not super clear on stuff. Like okay, so we have red. Can I have like a arrow? I think I just have to use this. So we have like red, this color. That's way too thin. I gotta thicken this up. It's gotta be thick. So we have red as the lobster color, and then like this very pale white for flesh tone. Okay, cool. But it's very clear when it stops. Like here, yeah, it's not a straight line. It's not worn like a sleeve. But look at how clearly it is. It's just a sleeve with jagged edges. It's still a sleeve. So this doesn't read like this does for having transition. Also, there's no like distinct muscle change. It's just human arm, and then here is a straight line like it's a sleeve. So it looks like she's wearing just lobster boxing gloves. Even though there's a small bit of color variation, it doesn't scan as an actual thing. Like right here, another where it's a clear line of this is where lobster part starts, and like there's some discoloration. And then for like this discoloration right here on the arm, it's just getting blended in with all this. It doesn't look like it's an actual transition. It looks like it's artistic muddying. And if you look at this arm, there's none of this. So this very clearly is reading as shadow versus a blend. Here's the same thing. It doesn't look like a transition. It's either just reddish flesh or artistic blurring. For the face, you have a straight on looking at you human face with this like snout thing. So that it's losing a lot of the lobstery parts that this has. It's got these big, you know, antenna thing. They're not antenna, they're coming out of the mouth hole. But like, all right. And there's not really much separation of the eyes either. Like they're blending in to everything else. So like, it's reading very flat. And like even this like discoloration of her skin down here, it's not blending into anything. It just, maybe she's dirty. Like it's not really clear what it's doing. So that is like I would say a bad example of human animal hybrid mashup, or just any sort of animal mashup. A thing, and like where this is just taking lobster face and kind of mushing it to be humanoid. This is taking full lobster face, because lobster face should be, I want to rotate this like 90 degrees. Because like if it's lobster face, just turn your head 90 degrees, or just imagine it turns like that's a normal lobster face ish. But the way that it blends with this humanoid silhouette looking thing is now it looks almost like a cowl. So you have a really good blend of it versus kind of mashing the two together to just be a front eye facing thing that looks like an elephant that's tucking its trunk in. So, like, when I talk about bad mashups, that's what I'm talking about. And when I'm talking about good mashups, this is what I'm talking about. And I will talk about the subject of mashups all day. I hope I get a guest on and we just talk about mashups. Garlic butterface. Speaking of getting a toast just right, apparently there's a Mitsubishi device for making toast that's only available in Japan that people are going nuts over. What? I need lobster oven mitts. They make them. They absolutely make them, Domino. All right, now I gotta catch up on chat. Now I'm done ranting about monster mashups. Does that make sense? Is that a good... because I like to think of these as slightly educational. And I feel like if I can explain artistic expression as to why something like works or doesn't work, and I feel accomplished. Also, to say that that's not like you can't not like this. If you're like, I love lobster head on body, like that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It bugs the badoo out of me though. God of Baking promises us that one day, that on the day of leaving, even the yeast will rise. Even the yeast of us will rise. That's funny. Is there a face-off between the God of American biscuits and the God of British biscuits? There's a thing you could do there. You could build some lore. Either that they're in cahoots and like just the word, both of them using the word biscuit empowers them on both sides of the world from different religious groups. Or you could have it to where, you know, they are at odds with each other because when people worship biscuit, it's stealing from their biscuit because they're worshiping the other biscuit. So you could do some fun stuff with that Slime Lord. That pick is some weird burlesque. It is actually pretty weirdly burlesque. This pick's way better. Fluffy bread rolls versus cookies. I would watch that pay-per-view. It's pretty good. Much cooler to see the arm physically change as it becomes more lobster than a hard line between the human and lobster. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's that look of the sleeve, like that you put on the oven mitt. Versus this is your arm. I feel like a humanoid had both bone and exoskeleton that would have to connect at some point. Not look like a glove. Yes, I am still watching. Oh, YouTube didn't like the fact that I haven't interacted with it. God of Biscuits as his life partner, the God of Gravy. Heck yeah. Also, hi, Ellie. I don't think I said hi to you. I don't want to go there, but I have to. Butterface. The garlic butterface is very funny. As someone with next to no artistic ability while still having painted minis for 30 years now, I find your artistic perspective very clear and interesting. Thank you for the breakdown. Sorry for being late to class. Domino is perfectly fine. Yeah, I am. Here's the thing. I'm very bad at drawing. Like, I can't draw at all. I can be like, here's a face, and this is the best I can do. Here's some hair. Like, I'm very bad at it. But working in like one, I just have a deep appreciation for art, as we all should. Two, I work with artists to make stuff where I'm like, I need X. I need to be able to communicate what X is. So like when I made Grinderbin, I got an artist to be like, here's what I want, and I had to explain everything that I wanted from it, and then see sketches and explain what I liked and wanted to see changed. And seeing their artistic expression go, ooh, okay, can you do it? So like the like mycelia looking thing on their collar, it's like, is it shirt? Is it fungus? Like, it's based on fungus, but exactly what it is a bit weird. And that was a thing that I really liked that they did. It was like, oh yeah. Okay, can we lean into this? Can we have like that coming out of the sleeves too? And then it adds a little more to like the, how it looks, being able to do that. So I have to look at art very objectively and understand what I like and don't like so I can explain it. And then also as doing reviews, It's a thing that I need to understand because it's like, I don't like this character. Like, I play this game and I am immediately like, I'm pulled out of the narrative because of this character, because of this thing that's happening. And I have to analyze why that's happening. So I also just find deep dives on stuff usually pretty interesting because I like obsessing over things. Thanks, Domino. All that to say thanks, Domino. How many clever people can one chat contain? I love this so much. God bless all of you. Miss Harmony, I agree. There's some of the best people on the internet are in here. And I know that's like what everybody says. They're like, my community's the best, blah, blah. But like, I leave chat open and talk during it because you all are a delight to read and hang out with. Like Lime Story said, the pussy kid. I love art. If I could, I'd have games instead of wallpaper and set up that way. Oh, hey, Jesse. Yep, that's me. You are my background listening while I work on one of my finals. Nice. Glad to be your second monitor entertainment. Speaking of Grindelwald, Jesse, give me your best idea for being mushroom powers? Benign mushroom powers? Like super low-key biological abilities that a mushroom person would have? Is that what you mean? Can we get rid of... Can go over here. Spore dispersal? Bioluminescence? Yeah, so honestly, this is the second wind community. This and the second wind community, which many are intertwined. Check are just wonderful. Yeah, I got that for a bunch of people did like digital holiday cards for a bunch of us. There was one for like second wind as a whole, and then a bunch of people signed one just for me, and Marty sent me that, and it was absolutely a delight. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool people over there. Mildly toxic. Yeah, so if you look at a great inspiration would indeed be mushrooms. So like, oh, basically I plan on giving all my players' characters extra homebrew powers. The rogue was first by basically gaining extra subclass. But he's a bit of a flat character, so I want to stick him with pre-existing themes with the others. Okay, so yeah, a good thing would be look at mushrooms. So one thing that I do for Dicaria is when looking at the mycelia network, which is a real thing, and it's freaking wild. It's how like mushrooms communicate, and they can share resources. So you could have a Dicaria that is healthy, hold hands or whatever with another Dicaria, and give them part of their like HP or life or whatever to heal them a bit. Because when one has more of a resource than another, they can share it through the network. Bioluminescence, as mentioned, absolutely could have a constant bioluminescence, like you have a few dots on you that are always glowing, and then you'd have like some part of your outfit that, you know, like a hood. It's like, oh, I have a glowing top of my head, so I wear a hood, and I'm not glowing. And then when I want to have light, I take hood off, and now I have glowing. So, like, there's something that could be either they could switch it on or off, or it's something that they could cover up to have luminescence when they want it, but be able to cover it so it's not, you know, an issue if they're trying to hide. Yeah, spore dispersal, as Deep said, is, yeah, you could do something with that. a really good way of, like, you know, you could do it as like an attack, like, oh, like sand in your eyes. You could also do it as a very subtle means of a non-magical like warning system. Like, if you put spore, like, I think someone's sneaking through this window, and you put like a layer of spores down and check and see, like, yeah, there's definitely a footprint right there. Someone's definitely coming through that window. Invisible people, also spores, might be able to kind of get them with that. Mild toxicity, also really good. As Curious said, you could do that as an offensive ability and be like, ooh, I rub a blade on me and now it's toxic, haha. Or as a nice thing to be like, oh, you used a bite attack on me? Joke's on you! And then, you know, they gotta deal with your toxicity. And the power of that is up to you. Let me check about chat. Where's Fungus Finder? This is a good way to donate hit points as a bonus action or reaction. Her character is super tanky. You can fit right in perspective. Yeah, that would totally work. I apparently really love mushrooms way more than the average human. Mushrooms are great. The average human should just love mushrooms. Except to eat. I don't like to eat them. This could be cool as running 2 separate one-on-one campaigns that were intertwined. Players working to defeat each other and slowly become more and more intertwined. Eventually have their player... Oh, yeah. We should have RPG group just to do something with this. This person is toxic, literally, yeah. I think it would be better as an NPC arc. Yeah, that would be really cool. Question 2. If Dakari fight, could that healing effect be used as a drain/force? I would say no. In the wild, it's used as a thing to help rather than hinder. I don't think if, like, there's a dying mushroom, another mushroom will just suck the last life force out of it. However, you could treat that as a form of vampirism for Dakaria. So rather than doing a blood drain, they use the mycelia network as like vampires do to drain life force. So that could be cool. For mushroom powers, the Tagswag from the 13th age is kind of fun. They can sprout their own little fungal buddy out of their own flesh along with other things. Oh, that is fun. I don't want to stick with defensive, or at least non-offensive powers. She's only an ambiguously good character in the party. She's suffered so much trauma from trying to do good deeds. She desperately needs a break. Surprise meeting back in a bit. Have fun, Deebs. Hope it's a good meeting. Yeah, they could share, like, basically a psychic connection. Curie is a good one, too. That the Mycelia network can share resources physically, but also mentally. You could... Another thing I have for Dakar... Actually, I might bring up... I was going to bring up that book. Where is it? I gotta find it. Because I'll just bring up the... Formatted. Nope. Well, sure. Well, dang, what folder did I put the final one in? I think I put it in... because it was for Zine Quest, so I think it's in here. Yeah, it is. Okay. Because I think I have some stuff on Dikaria. Oh, yeah. Okay, so for mushroom people, I have long reach. So, like, your proportions aren't normal. Dikaria have no blood. So, like, if you take a wound, it's not like you're bleeding out. So, no internal organs. Not necessarily susceptible to the same kind of damage on, like, a critical hit. I have sensitive perception, so being able to, you're not relying on your eyes, you're more of aware of the world around you. I have not a picky eater. I mean, again, looking at mushrooms, they can kind of just ingest organic matter, and like they can get nutrients from sucking the like the minerals and stuff off of rocks. Like, it's not as nourishing as, like, something with good fertilizer, but, like, it is amazing what they can survive on. And I have rapid learning because they, in this lore, Dikaria only have a lifespan of, you know, about 12 to 13 months. So, like, they gotta learn real fast. Which also leads to multitask, and then hard to read because... again, they don't have eyes, so it's very hard to be like, what are you thinking? Like, you're better at hiding your intentions because you don't have eyeballs. You don't have a humanoid face. She is directly responsible for several deaths, including XPC. Oh, no! This girl's life is suffering. Oh man, that is rough. So what do you want to give her other than defensive and offensive? Like what genre of things are you thinking about? Like, are you thinking utility-based things, like things to do with speed, turn order? Are you thinking like aid? Like she can change something in the battlefield? Are you thinking non-combat? Are you thinking social? Like, what is it that you want to deliver here? In a broad sense. Xenomorph cannot impregnate mushroom people. You're probably right, Josh. Wouldn't be... well, maybe. If there's still enough, like... actually, I think it could. Because it's not the organs or directly the anatomy that a xenomorph chestburster is using. It's just being cocooned inside of a creature and then eating its way out. And there is stuff to eat. So actually, I would say a xenomorph could indeed grow inside of a Dikaria and then burst out. It'd be a bit softer. For the final boss, I love the concept of the whole forest/colony of fungi being just one organism. Oh, that's so good. Yes. That would be so great. First time I discovered that in real life. It was possible in real life. Freaked me out, yeah. Slimy fungus goo. Delicious. I do want to be one of those people. I do not want to be one of those people asking what your second win plans are, but completely underrated. Your D&D streams are literally my favorite thing on the internet. Thank you, Miss Harmony. I appreciate it. I'm really glad that you like it. I'm hoping to have a D&D, well, not D&D, but a RPG. I am working on a actual play, so that I have to ask my players, and like this was being done before Second Wind, so like, but if I could get it on Second Wind, that would be cool. Otherwise, it'll just be on my channel, which is neat. But there are more RPGs in D&D. There definitely are. But thank you, Miss Harmony. That is super sweet to know. And yeah, the more RPG stuff, we all want to do it. So exactly how that's going to work, we are currently unsure. Discussions are being had. I cannot say anything else. Well, she does struggle to meaningfully contribute to combat oftentimes, though she has moments of utter brilliance. A proactive bonus action of some sort would help with that. Ooh, okay. Are you thinking, like, do you want to give her, like, a damaging proactive ability? Do you want to give her a like, defensive? Like, she could bolster someone else defensively, like an aid? Again, utility. Do you want her to be able to change the battlefield in some way? What ability I was thinking of, you know how spore druids can turn enemies into zombies when they die? Maybe instead she just uses mycelia to animate party members' unconscious bodies when they reach 0 hit points in order to move them out of danger. Larson, that's a really good idea. Like, you can move unresponsive people. Gridabit and Dabarel are my heart personified. Aw. Thank you. I like them too, but I'm biased. Anus Quiver is my sense of humor. So funny. I love Anus Quiver. I have watched I have watched the first 2 seasons of Adventures Night. Yay! 7 times? Oh my gosh. That's so many times. I had to work on Celia. Hang on. So yeah, Larson, the ability to be able to use spores to animate unconscious bodies would be really cool. That 100% can get busted. So definitely have. I don't know if you're using D&D, so definitely make it a save that you can forego if you want. Otherwise, you will have a player who can just go to someone when they're asleep and then animate them to walk into a cage or a trap or off a cliff or whatever, and you will have basically the greatest rogue ever. So be aware of how that can be exploited fairly easily. Oh no, we're supposed to count how many times we watch? No. I mean, you can. That's on you. It doesn't. I don't know how many times I've watched things. Only works on limp, non-resisting bodies, and the movement is a zombie shuffle. Okay, so like, so it is something that you have to allow. That would work. Like, it's an automatic pass save, basically, as long as you are conscious. What would be? Definitely put a rule on there then of like not being able to move dead bodies. But that would be a really cool, I can get you out of danger maneuver that she could have. Oh, man. I'm trying to think of some really good mushroomy stuff. In nature, when the zombie effect happens, it's weary to walking. They cannot fight or defend themselves. Briskly walk into water, anthill. Yeah, plants, some sort. Yeah, definitely just walking. She's a spore druid, so animating dead enemies is already a thing she does. Oh, okay. Well, now it just has a nice variant. Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. But also this being, you know, if you wanted to make it more like a, oh, you don't have to do it, like it doesn't cost a spell slot to do, then definitely make sure it's got those limitations on it. But yeah, if you look up mushrooms, also just a super helpful thing to do if you want to get more inspiration. Yeah. I love those freaking, the zombie ants. Oh, that fungus. Oh, it's so creepy. The real world Las Plagas. Ugh. Ugh. I'm trying to think of something directly to tie into, like, her wanting to help people, and that she's tried to help so many people, and that she's responsible for some stuff, and that let that be motivation for manifesting another way, another thing for her to do. Because that's really good. Like, I love abilities that tie directly to a character, rather than just being like, you shoot lightning out of your hand for 10 damage for funsies. It's like, that's cool, but like, it's way more fun to have a character that has done a specific thing, and because of that, they have something tied directly to it, or their motivation, or, you know, what they attempt to do in the party, like based on their past actions, stuff like that. Fun fact, more recent studies suggest that cordyceps don't actually affect the ant's brain. It removes its ability to send signals to its muscles, effectively trapping it inside its own body. Well, I'm out of here. Bye, everybody. I'm done with life. It's terrible. These are horrifying. As if it couldn't get any creepier. You have freaking just, oh, well, I'll just put you in a coma and then just pilot your meat mech. And there's nothing you can do about it. That actually does remind me of something. I gotta take some meat out of the freezer. I'll be right back. That wasp that paralyzed the spider indefinitely, so they put larvae in them. Yeah, it's terrifying. Horrifying. I've seen videos of, like, praying mantis just eat bugs face first. while Bug is like, ah! Horrifying. Nature is a nightmare. No wonder we all like video games. Have you heard about the sea bug that crawls into a fish? As soon as I saw sea bug, I was like, I know where this is going. That crawls into a fish's mouth, gnaws off its tongue, then attaches itself in the tongue's place to feed on whatever the fish eats. Yes, adorable. Love them. So cute. Also, cockroaches. Imagine feeding that. Do you fuse with the fungus? Ooh. I'm back. Hope things are still going well over here. They're going great. It's messed up symbiosis. It really is. I actually found one with cleaning a fish. I feel like that fish tongue character thing, though, or that fish tongue, I feel like that would make a great character. Where you have like the like body character, but it's the one inside the mouth that does the talking. So you're kind of a two-character person. It would be an interesting NPC. It totally would. Could an omnipotent party be balanced by omnipotent but smarter villain? I'm going to say yes. What's omnipotent? What does omnipotent mean? Both could be talking. That's true. Have you heard about the parasite that zombifies crabs, and if male to females them in order to carry its progeny? No. Ooh. That's fascinating. Omnipotent is all powerful. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Could be balanced by an omnipotent. Just because you're all powerful doesn't mean you can account for everything. It's sort of like the immortal, like, was it, if you're immortal, it doesn't mean that, you know, a situation will turn to your favor. You could eventually, you know, fall into a cave-in and die. If you're dealing with something, oh, omnipotent. I just can't read. This dumbass said omnipotent. Omnipotent. I know that word. If you're dealing with something omnipotent. If you're dealing with something omnipotent. Yeah, because you have like if you take Christian mythology and you have like God, where you have something that is all powerful and all seeing and all knowing, but like devil still fucks some shit up. Like devil still threw a wrench in plans. Devil, like, you know, according to Genesis, like that mythology, like devil turned paradise and humanity into something that is what we have today of like sin and murder and all that stuff. So there are things outside of that you can do. So, and also if you're playing on the same, if you have two things that are on the same playing field, like one omnipotent being, it's like, I can break out of anything. And then another omnipotent being be like, I can make something that no one can break out of. And it's like, both are technically true because, you know, you have things that are dealing with like the impossible. So yeah, you could absolutely do that because you could have the one God thing that could do anything if they're smarter or if they have a better plan or they trick them. Yeah, they could totally get them in a bad situation that they couldn't just get out of. So yeah, you 100% could. 100%, Josh. Yeah, unstoppable force beats a movable object. And like the whole thing of like, okay, what was the thing? If an unstoppable force beats an immovable object, it's just the unstoppable force tears through the immovable object. Like they're not, it's not an impervious object. Also, unstoppable force, immovable object. Okay, they hit. Force goes this way now. And then can go around it, or keeps going that way. Like, it hasn't stopped. Maybe it stopped its forward motion, but it didn't necessarily stop its motion. It's still moving. It moved this way 70 miles an hour. Now it moved this way 70 miles an hour. And then if it wants to go back this way 70 miles an hour. Like, it does not mean, you know, everything it just stops or like implodes or whatever. Yeah, it could ricochet. I'm hearing Heath Ledger's Joker say that to Batman. Hey, Mando. How are you doing? It hits the object, ricochets. I can't do a Joker impression. You can read. It is spelled omnipotent. It's just pronounced different because words are jazz. Words are jazz. Thanks, Deeps. Also, I had a thought for the tongue parasite. It can translate for the host. Yeah, so the host speaks ancient whatever, and the tongue speaks that and common. You good. Phonics is pronounced p-h-onyx. Yeah, it's true. I imagine the player trying to speak in another language and try to trick them, but the parasite catches on. Yeah, I love that. I had to Google that as first time I wrote it. I couldn't even read it. That makes me feel better. Thanks. You want to know how I got these scars, Batman? Sharp hamburger. It's so stupid. I love it. Sharp hamburger. I've been putting off dinner for too long, so I should head out. But one last question. What is the most fun way to fuck with my players now that their house is full of 100 tiny spiders? The spiders unionize. So the spiders, their house is full of 100 tiny spiders. The spiders make like a colony. They make their home. They expand. They have their jobs, their homes, their whatever, and they're like, this is our land, and we want these demands from you, other person who is also living here. That's what I would say. There's really there's no wrong answer. There's a million answers. Keep in mind their enemies are Lothites and can command/talk to spiders. Yeah, I think it would be funny to have them unionize. But are they like? I'm assuming if they're real spiders, they might not. Well, if they could talk, they might be able to do that. Can the spiders move things for their village? Ooh. I now have something to talk to my therapist about next week. Thank you. That was that Larson. That's funny. What species? Yeah, what species of spiders? The spiders kick the players out of the house, calling them scabs until the strike is over. Yeah. Additional context, the spiders are there because the Lothite drow poisoned the player's food. They hatched from inside their stomachs and were vomited out. Oh, it's that spider. Oh, well then I'll tell you what. You know what the spider's got to do right now? If the players are the spider's parents, the spiders are demanding child support. They need support from the players, and by the law, the players have to provide support for the spiders. So they got to provide a roof over their head. They got to provide food. They got to provide education until the spiders turn. How long do spiders live? What would be 18 for spiders? And like by law, they have to parent these spiders. I don't think Kowtow City of Doop Throop Floop has child support laws. It's your world, Larson. If you want it to have child support laws, it's got child support laws. If you don't want it to have child support laws, it does not have to have child support laws. But if you want it, they have child support laws. Fighter spews to be Fightertron. Yes. Josh, it is their Larson's game is in the Forgotten. Well, it's in the Underdark. So yes, Lolth. Have them be mini avatars of the evil goddess. Josh says have them be evil mini avatars of the goddess. That could be fun too. If nobody has seen... Wait, if nobody has seen the William Shatner movie Kingdom of Spiders... Yeah, I have not. I didn't even know that was a movie. But the players sue the spiders, claiming the vomiting was in fact a miscarriage abortion, and due to a legal loophole, they are not responsible. Yeah, court battle. Love it. They, like the spiders, are educated enough to be able to throw the book at them. Yeah. Depending on the species, they can either live for 2 to 20 years. Yeah. So depending, so like maybe a year, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. Further context, only 2 of the PCs vomited up spiders. The other 2 made their con saves and digested their spiders before they could come out. Oh, so they murdered spiders. So they just like, the spiders died in their stomach acid? Because they just ate them? Can they put him on trial for murder? Be like, you murdered our brethren. Do you have to vomit spiders? Yeah, if they if they digested them, yeah, did they just poop the eggs out? Or did they get fully eaten? Like they got destroyed? Best spider horror film ever made. Wow. If anyone knows how to manipulate the intricate web of proceedings and tie them up in court, would be spiders. Discordia, that's really funny. Yes, I'm still listening, YouTube. I am indeed still listening. I would argue the drow murdered the spiders by sending them into the pits of stomach acid. See, that's good. See, that's good legal representation, Deebs. The fault is on the delivery method. If they would have put them in a different spot, they wouldn't have been eaten. That's like it's like leaving your kid in a hot car and then suing the car company. It's like, but it's your fault that the kid's in there. Like, it's their fault. They put the kid, the egg, in the body with the stomach acid. They shouldn't have done that. Should have picked a safer place. It's on them. That's under dark law. Where's Mousecatcher? We need a lawyer's opinion on this. I would argue... Oh, okay. Can you imagine my glee when I read the... When I read about this spiders in your stomach poison? Is it real? Published poison. It's called The Calling. Excuse me, what? I need a link. I probably watched it a dozen times. It gives me chills just to think about it, and I love spiders. Aw. Are they all spiders? They have cultural relevance for spiders. There's other creatures in the Underdark other than spiders, and the people who vomited up the spiders are the party of PCs, and I don't think any of them are drow, but I could be wrong. Car companies control the weather. Like, where have you been, Jesse? You know what? You're right, Miss Harmony. I'm sorry. I should have remembered car companies. They do control the weather. I mean, with their factories and global warming, they are a boom. Relevant topic. Pollution, everybody. Climate change. That joke was not worth the motion I did. No, Pudge the fish controls the weather. He eats peanut butter sandwiches? What? Pudge the is that like, is Pudge the fish like Punxsutawney Phil, who controls when spring and winter come? Oh, Lilo and Stitch reference. I have seen Lilo and Stitch. I remember almost nothing about it. Literally almost nothing about it. I remember Stitch is in it, and Lilo's in it, and Nani is her name? Who's Lilo's surfing aunt? And then there's Hot Guy, who Nani is into. And then there's someone in a suit. And there's aliens. And I think there's a plane at one point. I really... Oh, Ohana means family. Yeah, I guess I do remember that. That's a great picture of someone vomiting spiders. Go watch it again. It's held up very well. I might have to watch it again. Because I remember when I watched it, I wasn't like, I'm really into this. But maybe I should watch it again. Maybe it'll hit me right in the feels. Cobra Bubbles. Fish's coping mechanism for losing her parents. Oh. I do not remember. I don't remember a fish. I legitimately do not remember a fish. Calling is from 3.5 source book called Drow in the Underdark, published 2007. Okay. That's an awesome thing to have vomit spiders. That's so great. It's a great poison / curse. Everyone making up Lilo and Stitch facts. Is that real? Are they making it up? I wouldn't know. I don't remember anything about that movie. Not a doggone thing. Like, it is... I barely remember Ohana means family. And I remember that at some point, Stitch puts his finger on a record, and then Lilo opens his mouth, and it, like, plays the record music. But I only remember that because it's a meme, and people will put different music when she opens his mouth. And I've seen that with, like it's like to do it's like Rammstein or something. It's like, so just do it with different music. That's the only reason I remember that is just from the meme, from those memes. Then at the end, Lilo throws up spiders on Stitch, who shits spiders instead of vomit. Lilo and Stitch was actually filmed in Guam, not Hawaii, for tax purposes. It's... That's a cartoon. I love that. That's very funny, Crawdad. Stitch eats shoes, but only the left one? I don't believe that. I think that's a fake fact, but I wouldn't know. Maybe he does. Most of my memory of Lilo and Stitch is from Kingdom Hearts. And there is not a lot of that in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, he's like Stitch is a summon or something, isn't he? Spiders. Like you summon Stitch to thwart your enemies? I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 when they came out, and I have not touched a Kingdom Hearts game since. So it has been a long time since I have experienced Kingdom Hearts. I did own 1 and 2 on PS2 though. Like, I actually pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts 2. Which I was very upset about because I pre-ordered it because I thought my friend and I were going to play it together. And then he was like, nah. And then I was like, oh. So I just played it by myself. In one of the games, Birth by Sleep, there's Stitch World. Takes place in space before he goes to Earth. Oh, that's kind of fun. Important question. Does Crawdad King of Mars have a connection to blip 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 blip? Yeah, absolutely. Crawdad King of Mars would definitely have some sort of connection with this blip blid dual plop. I just got a message that said welcome to the chat. Twitch. I've been here the whole time. Like I'm running this. Like it's my connection that's making this. What do you mean welcome to the chat? I've been doing this for 2 hours. Glad we could finally make it, Jesse. Thanks, Larson. That is true. The shoe thing, Josh. I don't believe you. I don't believe a single Lilo and Stitch fact that is coming out of any of y'all's text mouths. Distant cousins only see her in family reunions. Wait, that Jesse hasn't chatted the whole time. That's actually I think that is true because I don't think I put any links in chat. Which is generally the only time I type. Okay, we might do Small Gods next time. Because that's just a really funny concept to me. And I just feel like just having a list of tiny gods. So everybody make your lists of tiny gods. And that's what we're going to do next week. Unless I have a guest and we talk about something else. Because I'm still trying to get Jack on so we could just complain about alignments the whole time. Technically, he steals everybody's shoe, not eats it. I still don't believe you. Like, I don't believe it. Yeah, so next time, unless there's a guest, we're doing Little Gods. And then if we do have a guest, and we don't talk about Little Gods for some reason, we'll do it the time after. So pick your favorite. What is... I don't know what that is. Anglet. A small sheath, often made of plastic or metal, attached to each end of a shoelace or drawstring. Oh. So this. That's funny. Give me your D&D Myers-Briggs type. God, I hate those. Yeah, Pathfinder 2 replaced alignments. Which I think is smart. And I like the way, I don't know if they still do it, but Old World of Darkness did it, where you had, like, your outward appearance and your inward desire. And you would use them to play into character decisions, but it didn't limit you to those character decisions. But it was like, if you want to appear tough, then your persona is tough. And if you want, but you truly want to help people, then your desire is to help. And like they can be opposites, they can be similar, they can complement each other, they can contrast, and you're not bound by them. It's an oversimplification, albeit useful one for games rules. I would disagree. I would agree it's an oversimplification. I do not agree that it is useful for game rules, because I think in oversimplifying a very complex thing, you trivialize it and turn it into something that is so simplified it no longer serves a purpose, because you can't use it as a useful tool because it's so far removed from what it is. So I definitely argue it is not useful. If it was different, if it was not good, evil, neutral, chaotic, lawful, I think if you change the wording, it could possibly work and be that oversimplification that does work. But just the argument of what is good and what is neutral is not something you can quantify in a thing. So like if you say I'm neutral, I'm not going to stop this thing from happening. I would look at that and I could go, but that's evil. Something bad is happening and you are actively doing nothing. That is not neutral. That is allowing evil to happen. And therefore you are allowing it to happen, so you are a part of the system. You are part of what's wrong and what is, you're not stopping them. This is partially your responsibility. You're not as evil as the person doing it, but you have a responsibility in it because of it. And someone else could argue, that's stupid. I don't believe that. And because there are no rules for what good and evil are, in that sense, it is worthless. So I think, and it's frustrating because then it's not a matter of like character interactions. It is a matter of personal arguments. What do I think good means? What do I think neutral means versus what you think good means versus what you think neutral means versus what the DM thinks neutral and good mean? Yeah, I think it is a terrible system. Like, it is not a bad idea to have someone act selfishly or for the greater good, or like, help in a helpful way, like selfish to helpful as a scale. But yeah, as just a good and evil, it's the words are so loaded and so fluid, it's not helpful. It would honestly, to me, it is so unhelpful as a rule. It would be the same as if there were no listed die in the Dungeon Master's Guide or the Player's Guide, and it just said, roll. Make a Constitution save. I roll D4, roll D12, roll D20, roll a D100. What do I roll? And then the discussion would then be an argument on what die would you roll. Because it just says roll. So what do you got to roll? You have all these options. So I think it is like ultimately a unhelpful rule. That's what I think. That's what I think. It's just whenever I have Jack on, that's all we're going to talk about. Everything attempts to categorize alignment in any way is useless then, because everything is subjective. Right. You don't have an objective thing. If you could make an alignment chart that was based on objective things, then yes, it could work. Torturing a character to ensure There's calamity that can be prevented because of ability of prophecy. Is that good or evil? Right. Like, you could argue those facts. And the fact that you can argue it makes it not useful. We're all arguing over what dice to roll rather than having it set on what it should be. So what's your proposed solution since you don't have objective alignments? I would say the alignment system is just not useful. To say you have to be evil to be a rogue or something, or chaotic to be a rogue, I think that's a silly limitation that you don't need. Rather than having an alignment system that is supposed to influence the character, so like your character is evil, then have something more of the what is your character's motivations? What is your character's desires? Do they want to protect people? If they think protecting people is torturing to stop a calamity, then they are doing what they think should be done, and they are playing into their character. Is that right or wrong? Isn't the question. It's what would the character do? So I think focusing on the character, that's the way to have a better system in play. Is what is it that they're doing and why? What is their motivation for doing this? Or something like the World of Darkness thing where you have your persona and your desire. And then you allow that to influence you. So the alternative is just nothing? That everything is subjective? No system support? I just gave you a system. Like, that's not nothing. That's a thing. I just gave you two things. All right, I gotta roll up on chat. This is why I don't use alignment unless a spell requires it. And then the most abstract way. I don't like it. Yeah, I agree with Dakota. I feel like, yeah, for spells, it also doesn't work. You can't have objective good or evil. Oh, we already read that. Torture character, blah, blah, blah. So, I went to a game night the other night, and we played a game with werewolves and sorcery. And it was sofa king fun. We all closed our eyes. Ooh, and drummed on a table. Oh, werewolf. Yeah, and then there's cards, and they're assigned, and they let the timer tick down. And when try to figure out who the werewolf was, deception and trickery were mandatory. I may be ready to play D&D now. Werewolf is a fun game. It's a fun social deception game. I do really like. It can be really fun. And there's like a few different. I really like. There's werewolves where it's like it's just werewolves and civilians. And then there's other ones where there's other roles like the seeker and the hunter and the witch and the potion maker and the whatever, the leprechaun. I really love it when you have the extra people in there. I've had many disagreements with you, Jesse, but I'm not going to argue because trading strong opinions when one person is speaking and the other is just typing is so good. It is hard. Like it's very hard to have a clear back and forth like that in this scenario because we are working on different fields where, yeah, like you're limited to typing. And like also there's other people typing and like it's a whole thing. So yeah, it's not the same as like a direct one-on-one like debate. Oh man, I blanked on that word. I'm gonna leave this for my fantasy pictures. Okay. That's a funny picture. I like this picture. Like a clearly painted on door. This party really tried to get... That's very funny. I guess I don't understand what the actual rules of the system you mentioned would be then, because it sounded like proposed for every situation. Does your character feel subjectively? And then the GM has to choose whether it's good or bad. But the GM does not have to choose whether it's good or bad. I think that's you're still trying to apply whether thing is good or bad. But I want you to forget about that and say, what is character doing and why? And so if character is... So, like, if you had to have a spell that has an alignment requirement, the alignment requirement is selflessness. You can only cast this spell if it is to directly help someone that isn't you. Then you could cast it. So now, okay, why are you casting the spell? Does that actually play into the thing? And that is a more obtainable, understandable outline than just good. It still has a ton of flexibility. It still has that, well, you could try and argue it one way or another. That, I think this is a good action because I could do this. But... Oh, and I also think Crawdad is actually about to say exactly what I was about to get to. So I don't think... Crawdad says, I guess I don't use mechanical system to represent morality in games. I try to portray the consequences of PC actions. If they do something really out of line, people will not trust them. People will try to arrest them or get revenge. Or they might see how they hurt third party by killing person X. Yeah. Having a mechanical rule for morality is a really tough rule to make. And so far, I've never seen a system that does it well enough that I'm like, that's worth doing. I get that, but it sounds like it'd lead to way more arguments between GM and players about what their BS, about they could BS their way into saying their action was selfless. It could, but I would definitely say it's not going to be more arguments. I would say that is, at worst, the same level of good or bad. In which case, if it's something that's that fluid, then I still stand by it's bad in the system. That you do not have something that can be represented affirmatively, so it should not be a mechanical rule. Because if you want to argue that this is selfless or selfish, you can make the exact same argument whether something is good or evil. Selfless and selfish have, I think, a bit more of a parameter on them, but it's not a ton, which is why I don't think it's useful to have it in a rule at all. Yeah, I do not think a mechanical rule for morality is good. I think morality is such an ambiguous, fluid, like, weird all around us sort of thing that has so many tendrils that reach into different aspects of it. Kind of what Crawdad was saying, where if you do a thing and other people view it, that they'll think about you or respond to you differently. Morality is like Jello, yeah. That, like, it's too multifaceted to have a clear-cut rule for. It is not a Constitution save. It is not, can I climb a wall? It is something that is just absolutely mind-blowingly... Wow, it says welcome to the chat room again. Thanks, Twitch. Multifaceted and huge. Yeah, take out the mechanical rule. Yeah, Italian. My number one thing is just do not have it as a rule. If you have to have it as a rule, here's a few things that you could try and do with it. But yeah, I do think ultimately morality as a mechanical rule isn't a way to go. Not even a case-by-case basis. Like, you don't have to be the deciding factor of whether something was good or evil. Lawful rogue character is a great character concept, like suave man of the people, who does wet work for the god of justice that paladins can't be seen doing in public. Yeah, like that's you just take out the lawful good part and you have character concept, a suave man of the people who's or someone who does wet works for the god of justice that the paladins cannot be seen doing in public. That is a full fleshed out idea for a character concept. The lawful good, even the rogue part, but especially the lawful good part, does not do anything to add to that concept. You have everything you need in that description. That's the good stuff. That's where the conflict can come from. That's where all the character development is. That's the juicy morsels. It's so good. All right, that's what. Oh, okay. One time in one campaign I played in, half the party was shifted one step towards evil. It was because we kicked our sorcerer to death and gave his body to a bone devil. No one argued. I mean, that's. Look, I don't want to victim blame, but like, what did the sorcerer do? So it was like this, because I've been in some campaigns where I have absolutely let a party mate die because they were the worst and I did not like them, and I was like, we're better off if they're gone. You'd be pretty bold to argue that's not evil. Did kick someone to death and then give their body to a bone devil. So, I mean, you know, I am. Yeah, I don't know how that would work as a as an argument. But like, what? Okay, we actually it's 2:15. I gotta leave. I was gonna say what like mechanical. Why did it matter that everybody shifted in alignment? Because like, what did that really change? Sorcerer talked mad shit to the bone devil. Oh, I like the sorcerer now. Then tried to turn invisible and flee. When he reached the find out stage, at which point the bone devil trapped us and started murdering us. But eventually offered to let the rest of us go in return for the sorcerer. Ooh, interesting. See, given that situation, was the sorcerer like, you know what, guys, I got us into this mess. This is my only way I can think of to get us out of it. Like, was it like a noble sacrifice kind of thing? I'll be honest, mechanical systems are how I'm able to play games at all. If things are completely free form, I have trouble processing or keeping track of them. I don't think I could play a game with morality that was fully subjective. I would say morality does not have to be. I think this is the key point that we're not matching up on. I do not think morality being fully subjective is the same as morality being a hard mechanic. You can have objective morality and not have a mechanical representation of it. So you know, I did good thing, I did bad thing. And that does not mean you get a +1 or a -1. I think that's one of the main things that we're on that's happening. Because yeah, you absolutely do not need subjective morality just because you do not have a rule for it. It was established that the party was full of in-character assholes. Well, it sounds like they were already evil then. Last campaign I ran, says Kiru, I ran resulted in players arguing the morality of players collecting ingredients for mind control potion with children and tried to kill the undead pets of the children who were necromancers. Aw, let necromancers live. He tried to flee. That's why we kicked him to death. Oh, this is a very complicated situation. I love it. Laws can be good or bad depending on how it decrees them, but good or bad tends to be more solid leaning. We're divided good, bad, us versus them. Yeah. Ethics are one thing. Game theory is completely different, says Miss Harvey. Yeah. Jesse, I think you should go watch an episode of Red Dwarf called Justice. I should just watch Red Dwarf, to be honest. Tabletop game, we don't need anything, but that doesn't mean we can't like have it. Yeah. I'm not at all grasping what you're saying, but I'll stop now. I need to focus on work. Man, okay, so because this isn't the first time we've had this discussion, telling, so I would love to learn, like, I wouldn't mind it later, because, yeah, I gotta eat. Like, because I don't feel like we're that far off from each other, but that how we're explaining it is making it seem like we're further apart than we are. I think we have similar ideas, because I agree of morality not being wholly subjective, but am not articulating the problem with a alignment system to explain that properly. Law versus chaos part should technically be order versus chaos, in my opinion. I feel like order versus chaos makes more sense. I think law being like, again, loaded language of law being like a man-made thing versus order being a thing. Paladin loses his power with the shift. Ooh. Necromancers are just late healers, yeah. I don't use mechanical alignment much in my campaign, but I do have a wizard player currently trying to become good because he really wants to use Moonblade that he found. Now the mechanical definition that might be vague, but the tangible goal that he has. Though being an ex-loft drow, Sedwitter is really bad at understanding good. That's a great character arc, though, of trying to understand good. I played a game where one of the characters was a mind flayer who had seen the future and saw that mind flayers hadn't taken over and was like, wait, but we're the best. We're like we're amazing. We're the smartest. We're the coolest. We're the everything. Why had, in 1,000 years, how have we not taken over? And saw like who had more power was people that had like humanoids, and so the mind flayer was trying to understand what empathy was, and like wrote like social science papers on the necessity of empathy, and like how it was a non-physical force to be wielded, and like that had more power than like a lot of other things. And like it was really interesting, and like as a character really did not, grew up in a society that did not nurture that and did not have that sort of empathy and like that style of like good. And watching that character try to understand it was a delight. That's super cool. Yeah, RP thing. More of an RP thing, says Deeps. Yeah, Ultimate, it's down to you decide whether he's being good enough. That I agree with Deeps on that one. It's like, that's a character thing. Bob Lob Law. I haven't seen Arrested Development, but I know Bob Lob Laws. And Bob Lob Laws Law Blog. All right, cool. All right, I'm leaving. Y'all are great. I love these discussions. Even if we don't come to like, hey, Jesse, you're right about everything. I appreciate it. I really enjoy talking to Italian about stuff. I hope that comes across. I like talking to all you about stuff. But like, even when there's like, don't hard agree on like, everybody should hate alignment exactly the same as me. Like, it's okay. All right. I'm leaving though. I gotta eat food. Someone has to send me somewhere or I'm just leaving. Giant Bomb is playing Ride to Hell Retribution. You're welcome. Thank you for coming, Deeps. I was, oh man, I'm so hungry. I ate breakfast, which is not something I always do, which is bad. You should eat breakfast. And I'm still super hungry. I don't understand what's wrong with me. It's probably because I only ate one meal yesterday. Which is silly. Remember to eat, everybody. But I like didn't eat before I went to the concert, and then I was late for the concert. And like I had to drive into DC, so that was gonna take forever. So like I was like, whatever. And then I thought I might stop somewhere to eat on the way home, and I was like, but I'm tired. And like that means longer before I can go to bed. So I just didn't, and I just went to bed. You all warm my fucking heart so much. Thank you. Aw, thank you, Miss Harmony. All right, I'm out of here. I hope you all have a good day. Ooh, the Moonblade is sentient. Love it. All right. Bye, Talion. Bye, Tyrell. Bye, Larson. Bye, Miss Harmony. Bye, Deeps. Bye, Josh. Bye, Moj. Bye, Monday. Bye, Ellie. Bye, Besmirch. Wait, there's more. Bye, Larson. I think I already said that. Bye, Crawdad. Bye, Discordia. Bye, Valhalla. I have a friend coming over, and we are going to paint and just great times. Oh, that's freaking great. Have fun painting. Painting's cool. Enjoy living. Oh, lunch. Yeah, I'll enjoy my lunch, Besmirch. Thanks. Bye, everybody.